and we will try to explain if required in some details also. Okay, here with respect to One Health approach, the question is direct, simple question. What is the need for One Health approach in recent times? Before that, what is One Health approach? As the name indicates, till now, human beings are considered to be most important, unfortunately, by our own policy making or anything. The whole focus used to be on how we have to exploit the nature for our own benefit. Everything is only human centric, unfortunately. So that has resulted various wrong results. We exploit nature, indiscriminate exploitation of nature. We don't consider that our health is also related to health of other animals and ecosystems also. The spread of zoonotic diseases, as well as the spread of increased antibiotic resistance, where superbugs are getting created. Look at TB. Ordinary TB is completely curable. We have DOTS program, directly observable treatment short course. The TB is completely curable, but superbugs got created. Antibiotic resistance has become so big. Now you have different forms of TB, MDR TB, XDR TB, extreme drug resistance TB. There is no clear drugs also here in XDR TB. So unlike in the previous context where TB used to come, no medicine, not to do, the same thing is happening here now. No medicine, no proper medicine like that. We don't have vaccines, we don't have medicines for various complicated diseases. So only focusing on our own health without considering the health of ecosystems, environment, animal, and all those things has resulted very drastic negative results. That's the reason the concept of One Health is increased. Okay, so you have to tell like that. Initial statements, we have to look at the structure. Our health is related to health of animals and our shared environment. That's the reason there is renewed focus on this in recent years. That point you can highlight. Okay, so some kind of diagrammatic representation, sometimes of like this is good. Always it is good. How each is related to the other. So there is a need for not only the sector, whole society has to collaborate it, local bodies, urban government bodies, state, central level, all these things, international corporations, all these things should cooperate for the success of One Health approach. So that you can make a small diagram on it, and then you can explain what is the need for this One Health. Because if you look at the demand of the question here, it is just in asking what is One Health, just elaborate it. It's just an elaborate and discuss about. So why we have this situation? Zoonotic diseases are increasing, antimicrobial resistance is increasing, food safety, food adulteration is a very big issue. Very big issue. Whether you are talking about processed milk from to ordinary your sweets to even fruits, lot of pesticides, insecticides are being sprayed on it. So food adulteration, food safety. So this itself can be a good theme. How to ensure food safety, which is also a component of food security. And what is the role of technology in it, like that. So that is agri-tech, as I was telling. So we may tell about this agri-tech. Some examples. I'll ask you to write first, then we will see. So vector-borne diseases are increasing. That is all these things, environmental contamination, which all necessitated that we need a paradigm shift towards a One Health approach. Health of human beings is not the only thing. We have to look at other parameters role care. Fine. So in this manner, we can always look at advantages. One Health approach can prevent outbreaks, improve food safety, reduce antibiotic resistance, global health security. It's not about One Health approach doesn't mean that it's about countries thing. Not even if one country was able to control COVID, doesn't mean that COVID will be controlled. That is the reason we have this huge controversy with respect to vaccine nationalism. Okay. That only first we'll give to our nation people only, then only we will go for other nation. Not possible, because if many countries are not given this COVID vaccine, new variants will develop. If new variants are developing at some other places, obviously they will come and infect. Look at the way in which COVID got spread. The same thing can happen in various other diseases also. So it's not that each one country should be good. All other countries also, whole humanity, whole world countries should be away from this or should have the resilience to face diseases. No, that is the important aspect with respect to this One Health approach. Now, what are the challenges we have with respect to just the structure we are taking 2-3 minutes? You have to make at least 1 minute or half minute when a question is given. When a question is given, what is the structure? How you will write intro? What are the main points? What are the challenges? How you are going to write? How you are going to the way forward? What diagrams you can put? What flowcharts you can put? Like that, 1 minute or half minute, you have to keep the structure. Otherwise, continuous flow will not come. Okay. So difficulty in coordination. That is always the biggest is to international collab. See, there are a lot of priority differences with respect to the Western Indian context. Here, we heard about rare diseases, right? You heard about neglected tropical diseases also. Okay, the lot of R&D which has the capacity by the Western pharmaceutical companies, they are not investing in these type of diseases because they are mostly present in poor countries, tropical countries, global south. Okay, so they want more money. It is when private sector is involving, it's always about more amount of benefit returns out of it. That's the reason they are not investing much on it. The existing present governments also don't have here, developing world also not having enough R&D resources to invest in these things. So that's the thing. That's the reason we need. If a disease is there, this may turn very big in the future. We don't know. See, whether it turns or not, everybody should collaborate. Who knows that this is occurring in this disease only because of this environment? No, no. The global environment is contributing it. Industrial pollution has contributed for the creation of more harmful pathogens. So we need to get that collaboration, which is difficult, unfortunately, because of the changing priorities, lack of awareness of One Health strategy, not only with respect to governments, with respect to local healthcare workers, on-field job workers. Okay, there are many systematic issues also because there is no proper surveillance, disease surveillance, bird flu, swine flu. We don't know how many diseases are coming and going away. Proper surveillance is not there. Animal health care or this with respect to apart, see, in human itself there is lot of disparity with respect to diseases, and that too people diseases with respect to old age. A lot of diseases we will getting with he still we don't have geriatrics. Old age healthcare is called geriatrics. So that is also neglected properly, not given enough proper treatment is not given in that. Animals, what kind of medicines are available, how to take care, veterinary sciences is not much developed, and surveillance is missing, control is missing, all these things, best practices are missing. So these are the challenges which we have to take care, because all the sections, whether it is environment, whether it is, see, there should be proper workforce to take care about the environment. Their only duty is protection environment. Indian Environmental Service, like you have forest service, not only in the forest area. We have to take care of the whole Hussain Sagar. Look at the ponds, lakes. Pollution Control Board is just a only regulatory or just a controlling thing. No, there should be people who have to full-time job is to take care of environment. Full-time job is to take care of animal husbandry health. Full-time job anyway you have in human sector. That also properly it has to be done. So you have to talk about COVID-19 pandemic. Definitely, because of this COVID-19 pandemic only, this concepts has given much more importance. The 5-6 points are much more important for a 10 marker with a small change. Nothing more than that you can't be able to express in 7 minutes time. Extra information, data, you can always fill in how much percentage of pathogens. Most of the pathogens which are affected human beings are from domestic animals and wildlife. And that's what they are talking about. Food safety is also making animal protein. Most of the production, animal production losses are also linked to see if the point you can relate is, see, why you have to focus on animal health care. Why we have to focus on animal health care is because if they are exposed to a lot of diseases, uh, economic impact will be there anyway. Food security is in danger because they can't produce more food. Okay, so animal-based consumption is still higher. So if they are exposed to more number of pathogens, our food security also will be under threat. Food inflation will come. So that is the reason we have to focus in that aspect also. So these are fine. We have interactions. Human actions only caused these things, no doubt about it. More we are intruding into forest areas. Forest areas are destructed because of climate change, water scarcity. That's the reason animals are intruding into human habitations. More mining activity, linear projects. There's a term called linear projects. Linear projects. What are linear projects? What are linear projects? What are linear projects? Same, no? Why did I so much confusion about it? Which are these canals, railway lines, pipelines, electricity installations, which will distort the barrier. This is the thing, the kind of things. Roads, railways, highway projects also, highways, they will dissect the forest area. These type of things. So animals are not like human beings. They can't be dependent on Swiggy orders for food, for water. They can't stay at one place. Our UPSC preparation means you sit in one room, you forget about everything and you study. But it's not like that with animals. They have to move freely. Their niche area you might have heard about in environment. So they will have a very big niche area. So when you are doing this kind of imbalances, there will be a lot of interactions between humans and animals. They move, they may not move. Ultimately, when the human interactions with them and they pass all their pathogens. They pass all their pathogens to us also. So that's what it is being observed. So all these things have to be limited. We have to, in One Health approach, all the mistakes we are doing, how the environmental destruction we are doing, that has to be limited. Second question is talking about microbial fuel cells. What is a fuel cell all about? Fuel cells, see, there is a process of using organic matter oxidation, process of aerobic or anaerobic. You will convert, you are using this as a fuel and generating the movement of electricity. When electricity will come, see, basically, whether you take a battery, how battery is functioning in the external circuit, electrons are flowing. So there is a chemical reaction here, chemical reaction which is taking place in any ordinary battery. Okay. Now, what is happening in microbial fuel cell is this is also chemical reaction. Cathode, anode will be there. In the same manner, our whole biology is made up of lot of chemistry, right? Biochemical reactions. Okay, they also involve lot of transfer of electrons that they are using. Organic matter, anaerobic, aerobic, oxidation will happen. Flow of electrons will be there. That will be tapped and that will be fed into an electric circuit outside, resulting into electricity. So this electricity will not be in very high volts. Small amounts will be there, but it is usable. In various ways, we can use this electric current. So we are using organic matter. Microorganisms are also can be used. So because every organism has a lot of chemical reactions within it. So all these things, hydrogen ions, electrons, because of that microorganism, see, organic content, microorganism reaction will happen, leading to a flow of electricity, which we are referring to as bioelectricity. Okay, so it can be converted like the fuel cells. Fuel cells is membrane based. They are membrane based. Generally hydrogen and all these things, lot of elements are there. Fuel cells is also itself is a good area to focus on. We may see this, we'll see this in detail tomorrow, especially with respect to fuel cells. So all these things, they have different applications. It's not only about electricity generation, it's about waste management. Bioremediation is one thing. Suppose in water, there is this is also a part of it. Okay, what wastewater can be that itself. The waste is organic. I'm talking about organic waste. That itself can be exposed to some bacteria. Bacteria will create a reaction. It will consume that waste matter and generate electricity. So rather than separate treatment plant, we are using waste to generate electricity. So that's what is interesting. The future of these, one of the applications of these microbial files. They can be used as biosensors, indicators for environmental monitoring. Many applications can be generated with microbial fuel cells. Low power requirements, isolated power requirements, which are very low. Power requirements, standalone devices. Somewhere else, suppose in Sichuan glacier, you want to keep some sensors where the batteries may not survive, but there is a lot of bacteria, there is a lot of organic compound. Reactions can be set up with those things. Oxidation and this reduction, all these reactions can be set up and generate electricity. Like that, there is a huge scope, still a nascent field, no doubt. Applications only we are interested, not the full theories, right? So low power requirement, there is no need for replacing batteries again and again, which that becomes not possible. So in wireless sensor networks also, so look at the keywords where which can be dumped there. Wireless sensors, somewhere in remote location, remote monitoring. We need to measure the environmental impact of various Ramsar sites located in hostile places. Microbial fuel cells can send us data if we establish them there. Waste to energy, definitely waste to energy is a very good application. Biosensors, they are like convenient biosensors, no doubt about it. And they are not associated with greenhouse gas emissions. That is another added advantage. We are getting energy without greenhouse gas emissions. Fine. So these are the 4-5 important advantages or applications of microbial fuel cells. Varieties of things like this diagram you can always build. Like this diagram always you can build important applications. Many things can be written. At least if you study these things, 5-6 also, at least you can put it out in the examination. Okay, sensors, glucose sensors, carbon sequestration. Because once we are converting that carbon dioxide trapped in the atmosphere into organic compound, the microbes, the bacteria are using that only. Environmental analysis, same thing they have repeated here, but the term they have changed. Wastewater treatment, microbial fuel cells, bioelectricity generation, powder sensors, data transmitters, wetland management. See, this is another keyword. Fine. In situ, bioremediation, and all those things. Fine. Okay. Then geospatial data, this we did yesterday in the explanation. What are the various applications of geospatial data? Okay, so you can always start with a simple explanation, information, what is it, location, based on location data. And various kinds of applications can be used, location of road, earthquake event, malnutrition amount. See, we can tag, district-wise we can tag priority areas. Like I was talking about tagging assets, tagging MGNREGA assets. We don't know how much of assets are built under MGNREGA. So geotagging of this can be done. That we saw. So another thing is with respect to welfare also, there is a good thing with respect to geospatial data, welfare schemes. Mother and child tracking. Suppose a particular mother is there, belonging to lower sections of lower economic poor sections. Now she need to come. She is a daily wage worker. She has to come regularly to take the medicines, to supplements and all those things. We'll track her, whether she has taken, how much she has taken in all this, because it is a 9-month period, long period. And after delivery also, post delivery, also care is required, tracking is required, so that IMR, MMR, all these things can be reduced. So how much of benefit she did, whether she took benefits of Janani Suraksha Yojana, whether she took benefit of insurance scheme, Ayushman Bharat, all these things, it can be tracked. So for that also geospatial information is required. So like that in implementation of schemes also, that is a new way of using geospatial data. Fine. spread of infectious monitoring. There is no end to the creativity of use. How diseases are spreading, location based. Once we get the location, we can get many things. So this is somewhat technical. If the examination asks, so once in a lifetime, they ask such technical things, how they are done, how that is being done. Because once and wide, see, previous questions, the most technical thing is once they have asked about Bose-Einstein condensate. Bose-Einstein condensate was asked in the previous UPSC question. Briefly discuss about Bose-Einstein condensate and applications. There also, they didn't ask about this equation. It was just a bouncer. Focus was on this Bose-Einstein applications itself. They asked the question when Higgs boson was discovered. Again, Nobel Prize for that. So they have asked it, 10 marker or 15 marker. Previous year question I was talking about. Okay. So in 2017 or 16, you see the paper. That is the year when which Higgs boson was discovered. That's the reason they have asked. We named a particle on Bose. It was in the news, very big news it was. So what are the applications of discovering this? How the science may develop? See, this is not the theory. They are also focusing on application orientedness here also. So that is the thing. Most of the things, whether they are using a lot of jargon, they will use. But ultimately, like on cloud computing, one question was asked previously. They are talking about big question they gave. What is the difference between localized servers and distributed servers? Basically, they are asking advantages and disadvantages of cloud computing. As simple as that. On TKDL also, they have asked a question. Traditional knowledge digital library. So you may think, what is TKDL? I don't know anything about TKDL. Forget about it. They have asked traditional, they have described it also. Traditional digital digital library is documenting all the traditional knowledges. Tribes have a lot of traditional knowledge. If a snake bites, tribes know what type of natural remedy they have to take. All this knowledge is not documented. It is going away. So they are saying in this TKDL, they are documenting all these things and they are making it as open source. That itself was told in the question. Traditional knowledge digital library is documenting all the traditional knowledges. Bolke their statement they give. Next question they are asked, the actual question starts now. What are the pros and cons of open sourcing? Open sourcing this thing. What are the pros and cons of open sourcing this traditional knowledge? This is nothing related to TKDL. They're asking whether this knowledge should be open source or whether it should be secretly patented. That was the theme of the question. Okay, so it's just a psychological testing. It's not about, then this is the open statement, pros and cons. You can think and link to various aspects. If it is open, many people can develop various applications, lot of branding will come, lot of products will come. India's traditional knowledge can't be pirated by some others, like some stupid company in the USA started patenting the antibiotic, antiseptic things of turmeric. Our whole grand nanny, everyone knows about this. CSIR chairman at that point of time, Mahelskar, stopped it. Okay, so when documentation is not there, these kind of things will happen. So all these things can be avoided by open sourcing it. If you are not documenting, we are not open sourcing it, people will not know and they may be lost. And proper kind of testing, the quality check can't happen. Who is there to verify the traditionalism? If you verify the traditional knowledge and properly document it, huge things will be there. So there are more positives than negatives with respect to open sourcing. So ultimately, you'll conclude that it's always good to at least document it digitally and ensure that it is safeguarded properly. Like that, you will conclude in that answer. Nothing related to technology in the TKDL. In science and tech paper only, they asked in GS3. All these are the previous applications. So sometimes if it is in the news, they may go some technical, but that is rarest of the rare. How geospatial, at the max, they may ask about triangulation. Because geospatial networks are working in the concept of triangulation. At least minimum 3 satellites should be there in order to pinpoint you on this earth. Where are you, Bolke? At the junction of 3 satellites. All these circles are the area of each satellite. 3 satellites. If you have a 4th satellite, if you have a minimum 4th satellite, you will know about your height also, in which floor you are. Suppose I am now in second floor and teaching you. With GPS location, they will say that I am located here somewhere in the nearby JNTU area. But if you have fourth satellite, they will tell which floor you are, second floor, third floor, altitude basically. That is required by fourth. So all these things, triangulation. One diagram, you will have three circles, one triangulation, minimum time frame, like that you can explain the concept. That is a max technicality. Okay. Accuracy, how they are going to know about triangulation and all these timings, because all these GPS things will have atomic clocks. All the satellites involved in GPS or our own IRNS, they have atomic clocks to know the timing between the signals. That's the reason they can tell where to reach, when to reach, how much time it will take, and all these things. So applications of geospatial technology, this we saw yesterday. Some of them can be, some extra points will be definitely there, no doubt. Urban planning, agriculture, cropping pattern also can be done here. Cropping pattern can be done here, no doubt about it. Sourcing, supply chain management, you can always add supply chain management, logistics, from where to procure all these things. Navigation is anyway web-based navigation application. That is the basic thing which got developed with the geospatial companies. Telecommunication, transportation, planning, all these things are the different applications of geospatial data. Now, with respect to natural resources management, flood management, these are the various applications. Disaster management, where are the people located? Here, how to do rescue missions, all these things can be done. Okay. So fine, you give this keyword, you can look up these diagrams also in other industrial applications also. You can use these are the good keywords they have for business development. App-based applications are there only because they made simpler because of this GPS came into picture. So applications of geospatial data for governance, like that, or one or two themes, or for industry, how can they fasten industrial growth? How can they enhance Atmanirbhar Bharat? Like that also they can ask. Fine. So various industrial applications, land management, public safety, public economic development, demographic data. Data is everything, right? We are a knowledge economy now. So fiber network, see who is the supplier, where is the demand supply gap, that also can be done. Public in politics, public policy, property records, zoning, movement, space, air, water, fantastic. It itself is a very big theme. So no need to do big research in these things, just look at the keywords and just remember these keywords, make a small short notes, that would be fine with respect to geospatial data. Right now, facial recognition technology. Fourth thing is about facial recognition technology. How it is an open-ended kind of thing they have kept. How it is being developed. Why it is. What are its applications? Kind of things. What is the question they have actually asked on facial recognition technology? Can you read out the question, or just put it here? Just a minute, or I'll see it. It's for tomorrow. Yeah, can anyone post it? I have posted in the morning only. No? I'll see that. Okay, just the statement is given. Facial recognition technology. That's a mistake. Okay. It should not be. Yeah, fine. Anyway, so the intention is, what is it? What are its applications? That would be better. On what way it is being there, how it is developed, what is the nonsense, what are the things involved in it, and what can be its applications. In that manner, only we can look simpler way, in a simpler manner. So facial recognition technology is identifying our uniqueness, no doubt about it. What are the unique features of a face? Why one's face? Old saying, there will be 7 people. Forget about it. See, it's our DNA which makes the face identical completely. There may be people who look alike, but technology will identify various parameters. See, like iris scan, which is unique, like our bio fingerprints, which are unique, face is also unique. Sometimes if you wear goggles, if you wear some scarf, things maybe you maybe find a look-alike thing, but it's not like that. They are going to measure various dimensions here, distance between eyes, distance size of these ratios will be there. This length and this nose ratio, various parameters, location-based parameters, all these things they will be measured. Forehead and chin distance. So they ultimately measure all these data points. They will measure in a particular framework. They will create an equation, and that if a kind of facial recognition formula can be devised for creating a facial signature. That is the intention. Signature can be unique, it can be forged also. So there are problems, no doubt about it. Code can be always subjected to, any software can be subjected to malpractice, but that itself does not mean that we should stop developing these applications. So a kind of unique facial signature is being developed in facial recognition technology, and that is being mapped. So there is a huge scope for an artificial intelligence here. So because it is it which is recognizing, it has to process the data on a big scale, and it has to identify the patterns, distinctive features it has to identify, and it has to match with people. It's a kind of advanced version of image search. Okay, we are searching only with keywords. In the future, it will be images. You click a photo. Now also some applications are coming. Image processing is happening. So an intelligence is required. Intelligence will enhance. AI will definitely will come into a big boost in facial recognition technology, not only recognition, verification, face recognition, and face verification. Attendance, automatic attendance. Teacher will come into the classroom. Teacher will click a photo, and no need for the teacher also. The camera itself will click a photo. Who are there? Automatically attendance will be registered. Who are there in a crime scene? Who are there in a crime scene? Or how people are there in a particular crowd? How they are there? Crowd movement management, festivals, antisocial elements monitoring, lot of ways. Airport travel, recognition. There is no end to it. Uniqueness, beneficiaries, beneficiary recognition. That becomes very easy with respect to they can't cheat. Exclusion and inclusion errors. With respect to social benefits, exclusion and inclusion errors. Exclusion happens when the concerned person who is eligible is not given the benefits, whether it is DBT or anything. Inclusion errors, or you have included a wrong person. A person with a Benz car has a white card, kind of thing. Okay, so all these things are there. Authentication, more success rate should be there. It's not be 75%. Still, things are there. So it will have a lot of, when crime rates are increasing, less number of constables are there. So we'll always can use this technology with respect to this. Initial cost will be high. Threat to privacy. This is a very important dimension. Whenever this technology comes, privacy is a very big thing. Wherever you are, that will be known, not only for government surveillance, it can be misutilized also in many ways. So we respect individual privacy. That can be a threat with respect to all these emerging technologies, AI, big data. Lot of things are under threat with respect to privacy. Right? Authenticity. Threat to we have to rely. If a machine says that, if suppose there is an error, machine says that you are not that person. The government can't recognize. So that is unfortunate thing, which can be huge dependency, huge reliance on this technology is also dangerous, not advisable. If not dangerous, you can write not advisable. Huge dependency should not be there. In many ways, you can write technology has, we have become enslaved to technology. No doubt about it. Every morning we get up and we search for mobile phone. It is becoming part, a body in our, organ in our body. So like that, huge dependency is there. That is not good. Social interactions are coming down. Mental stress is increasing. Various kinds of abuse are happening online. All these things are harmful spillover effects, which we are think. Absence of data protection law. We don't have another thing which can be in the news is we don't have data localization. Data localization means all the servers, Google, Facebook, taking our data. They are not storing the servers here. Servers are located somewhere. We can't control them. The companies are not registered here. So it's a kind of data sovereignty. Sovereignty is also another dimension. Our citizens' data should be here. We are a sovereign country, but do we have data sovereignty? So that is also another important theme which can be looked at. Okay. So in this manner, we can see context can come out. Out of these things only, some of things will hit in the examination if you'd like to talk. EdTech is there. It can be more in economic dimension also, EdTech, but pros and cons also can be asked. Online education, pros and cons, because governments are going ahead, many local governments are going ahead with this understanding here. So how dependency on online education, what is the market growth and all those things that anyway economic dimension is there, but technologically, what are the pros and cons? So nothing much about edtech. As a digital tech, what are the pros and cons? So you definitely you have to talk about our existing pitfalls. You have annual status of education report, Pratham report you have, which talks about that quality. We are able to bring the children to schools, but quality of education is less. Now with this edtech, they can get personalized student specific feedbacks. They can use AI, artificial intelligence can be used. Just a minute. Right. So personalized student specific things AI can create. A teacher can't monitor everything. A teacher can't manage the requirement of each and every student. So these techniques can be used. Always the technology can be used to enhance the learning experience, no doubt. Not only AI, data analysis. So what is the in a particular, as a district collector, you want to know the quality of all the children in government schools, private schools, whole data. You want to know how they are getting teach, what is their performance, what is their attendance. So a big kind of database and continuous updation, big data technologies are required in order to enhance this proper monitoring. So definitely opportunities are there everywhere. So we are going in this pandemic has definitely focused on that. A lot of disruption has come in the education sector, no doubt. New education policy also wanted to create a special national education technology forum to in order to digitize or to use the technology to enhance learning experience. So a lot of scope is there. Students can be used to you have Atal in tinkering labs. Anyway, they are there. There is also exposure to technology in Atal tinkering labs, no doubt. That also EdTech can enhance that feature, making learning interesting, making teaching easier. Teacher can focus on enhancing the quality, continuously focus on enhancing the quality. Collaboration between students in different areas, international collaboration, individual learning. And another important thing is access can be, improve the access in rural areas. More engagement. See, if I am asking with you, suppose you are in a digital classroom. If I just ask you, what is your opinion on particular things? In a traditional way, one or two people can be asked. But in the present system, you can put a message. Easily you can put a message. All the views can be known. Different views can be known. Different key points can be known like that. All is not good. There are limitations also, no doubt about it. There are many limitations. Concentration levels will not be there. EdTech can be a supplement, but it can't be a mainstream form of educating the nation. No, it can always supplement. There are many benefits for as a supplement. It can't be a main dish. Always, you can't eat only starter and finish it or any extra things in your breakfast or somewhere, right? So EdTech can only be a supplement. It can't be a main way of these things. Okay, so they are limited. How many online classes have you have written? No doubt, many people who are subscribing to big courses, very few people are able to complete it. So always, so it's not that you have to go against it. It can be always used as a supplement. Intended benefits of EdTech, no doubt. Personalization will be happening. Service delivery better. All these things are in a very different language. It can be tech. Issues, digital divide, smartphone connectivity. We have to depend on huge imports, no doubt. Our electronics manufacturing is not developed much. So we have to depend on that. We are still focusing on it. Unfortunately, we are able to not achieve that. Digitization of education. Right to education does not mean digitization. In COVID terms, lot of connectivity, network issues, data issues, smartphone issues, and all these things were there. Proper things. Language barrier also is there in these technologies. No doubt about it. Fine. So government has taken many things. Diksha, Digital India, infrastructure for school education, aspirational districts also focusing on education using technology. Fine. Rather than only private, the government itself has to focus. There is a huge scope. Another point you can write is there's a chance for huge syndicate monopolies. One form of education. See, if you are learning, many things can be done. Access to information using this edtech or digital things has become easy. Now, what is happening in UPSC also, you see, whole market will read one or two current magazines. You can, the previous PT questions are also example for this from last 2-3 years, especially. When you are dependent only on these 2-3 magazines, the UPSC is restricting not to give from this. Okay, a bouncer. Okay. So a kind declared led. You don't have a scope now to try something else. You will rely on those things only, same set of papers. Not only that, if you write examination in Delhi, almost all the answers will be same, going on into the same criteria. People will be reading the same material, same coaching institute, same material, same points will come, 1 or 2 points, either udhar hoga. So the examiner will read continuously and write 4 marks, 2 marks, 3 marks, the same marks they will get, they will not reach the cutoff. So you have to show your difference when compared to the others. Points has to be written. Demand of the question has to be carefully addressed. So with EdTech also, this problem is there. Monopoly can happen. Big shots are also there. The government has to invest it independently. Otherwise, things may not work. Examine the challenges with respect to 5G technology implementation in India. See, with respect to 5G technology, what is happening here is 5G technology, interestingly, it can't carry data over longer distances. See, 4G and 5G, if you take generation, which is having higher frequencies, 5G will have higher frequencies. Okay, when 5G have higher frequency, antenna size, which will have higher antenna size? Which will have higher antenna size? Among 4G and 5G or these technologies, if you want to establish the telecommunication hardware network, which will have bigger antenna size? Yeah, it is 4G. 5G will have a smaller antenna size, higher frequency, lower or small size of antenna. Previously, you used to see direct to home DTH. Before DTH, a big antenna used to be there in a village or in a city, cable wala, a big antenna on a building. Then he used to supply us with wired. Now DTH, higher frequency it uses. Directly it can communicate with the satellite. Tata Sky dish is very smaller than this previous antenna before because it is using higher frequencies, lower wavelengths, lower size of dish. Now, more in if 5G comes out, actually more kind of infrastructure. Speeds are high, no doubt. Speeds are high, various applications you can develop. Internet of things will be developed, no doubt. You can control many mobile, with mobile phone, you can control your car also, like it is shown in Hollywood movies, no doubt. IoT will develop, robotics will develop, telemedicine will develop. It becomes very easy for data transfers and data processing. No doubt about it. But challenge is you have to invest a lot on infrastructure. Lot of this, as the range is there lesser, more kind of infrastructure investment has to be set up. More kinds of network, cellular cells has to be created. That is also there. So power requirements will be different. So financial spectrum, capital, this, all these things are also part of spectrum auctions are also there. We are late in adoption. We have to quickly go towards it. Government subsidies issue is also there. Digital divide, no doubt. Common point with respect to all these technologies. So anyway, there is a probability that there is an inequality in technology penetration also. Only few areas, few regions will be covered first rather than all these things. The existing technology has we are not maintaining a proper infrastructure capabilities. So that is only randomly we are doing. Lot of call drops are happening in the 4G itself. Call drops are is not a quality of 4G. We didn't maintain. The demand is more, supply is not maintained properly. So with 4G only, we are facing these many technical things. 5G skills, human resources, proper hardware, all these things are not happening. And one more thing also news, the frequency, see why the interference is happening with respect to 5G mobile services was, you might have heard previously, just very recently, rollout of 5G has led to cancellation of various airlines, civil aviation airlines. Why? Because it's not that 5G signals are directly related to it. Indirectly, it happened. How was the frequencies which you are using for 5G hardware components, the same frequencies are used for various airplane systems within the airplane. The airplane has lot of sensors. It's a very complex system. The airplane has lot of complex thing. It is being used lot of data transfer and all those things. When they are dependent on these frequencies, there is a huge scope for interference. Okay, that's the reason they stopped. So that is lack of standardization is one thing. 5G technology is going, there is no proper standardization protocols. Different hardwares are being developed that may cause issues in the future. Like that you can. Economic impact, no doubt, many points can be written. Employment, industrial applications, faster turnover, monitoring, SCADA systems, automation of industrial equipment, interconnected things, IoT, you can write all these points, not written here. IoT can be developed in a big manner. We can focus now at least on our manufacturing for 5G compatible goods. At least now we can do Atmanirbhar Bharat, huge revenue potential, lot of services, education services, marketing, e-commerce, banking, fraud prevention, because more speeds will be there. How the data is there, it can be more processed. If someone is doing, see, suppose someone has misused your digital or your banking data, you will know with a lot of delay, a lot of software errors. So processing can be done in a much more bigger speed. IT innovation, rural economy, why only benefit the urban? All the services can be there in rural areas also. Decentralized governance, no doubt. So 5G basics are fine. They include machines, objects, and devices. This diagram you can remember how it can be used in various ways. Smart homes, in smart cities, healthcare monitoring. Lot of sensors can be inbuilt, and time to time real-time data can be done. Wearable devices, no doubt about it. Video monitoring, direct machine-to-machine connectivity can be there. The cloud, somewhere you install CCTV cameras in the clouds, very easy access, safety, industrial automation. Okay, all these things, vehicle to vehicle communication. Low, it's a very thing, robotic surgery. So various applications can be developed easily if you have the penetration of 5G. Okay, so that's what longer antennas is there with 4G, whereas with 5G, you have smaller antennas, high speed. Speed will be there. Data, more amount of data pins. Virtual reality, AR reality. What is the difference between VR and AR? Augmented reality and virtual reality. All these things, virtual reality, augmented reality will be there. It will just enhance the existing interface with the real. Suppose you are playing some video game, you wear a sensor and you will feel as if you are really hitting it. Whereas virtual reality is complete, it will take you into some other world. Okay, directly. It will take you to Labasana. You are sitting in your room, but you will feel you are walking on Musori, completely away from the reality, virtual reality. That's the reason. Drones, as I was telling yesterday itself, drone rules are there, no doubt. They have made these rules, so please study these rules rather than how they have. Of course, simplification is done. These drone rules, what is this drone digital sky platform they have here, when permission is required, when license is required. Okay, what is the role of foreigners in it? What is the role of regulated by import of drones, technology, certificate and airworthiness? Who will clear? How to ensure that it is safer? Penalty and all those things. Drone corridors will be provided for cargo deliveries. Very interesting. Okay, drone corridors for delivery, like especially in COVID times, some states tried with this, delivering vaccines and medicines through drones. Drone Promotion Council, it's okay, business friendly regime, all these things. Significance is very applicable technically, technologically, various applications what we can, that surveillance, disaster management, crime control, then with respect to agriculture, law enforcement, mapping, Atmanirbhar Bharat. See how many keywords we can use, medical use, real-time surveillance, surveillance is there anyway. Environmental benefits, no doubt, anti-poaching actions, fantastic. Okay, all these different keywords, if you can put innovation, startup innovation, youth, business, and all those things. So many examples are listed out. We'll share this document. Many examples are listed out here. Andhra Pradesh government. See, write the examples. Don't write only to one or two states. Don't write AP, Telangana, or Maharashtra, one or two examples. No, you have to. In the paper, see, it's not that in one answer you have to write all the things. In one answer, quote AP. In one answer, quote Telangana. In one answer, quote Northeast. The examiner should not feel that you belong to this particular state or region and you are quoting only those examples. No, you have to show that your knowledge is taking various state examples. Okay, schemes also. Technological applications in one area where they have how they have done in various varieties of states. All these things are there. In schemes also, local schemes you can quote for paper 2 in the examination, so that examiner will feel that you are highly knowledgeable. All these examples they have listed out in mining and all those things, medical emergency. Telangana I was referring to now, reaching out to medical emergencies and deploying. Okay, new technology. What is disruptive technology? This we saw yesterday. How disruptive, same figure we saw yesterday. How this is being used. Okay, artificial intelligence. Just a brief intro how AI can help. Niti Aayog is there. Niti Aayog AI report is there. How AI can be used for in Indian context. That is a good source. Challenges with IoT. Drone technology significance. See, don't think that digital disruptions are limited to only IR 4.0. Industrial Revolution 4.0 is one term, but we have many other things in disruption, like we saw yesterday, 3D printing, genetic synthetic biology, gene editing. Benefits. What are the benefits of disruptive technology? Innovation, modification of things, more efficiency, a lot of investments can come in, many new applied, many problems can be solved. This is more like, this is more points with respect to generalistic are there, but you can write the points related to solving various problems, which we can't do, various challenges with respect to technology. 3D manufacturing, it's very difficult to design in a customized manner. If 3D manufacturing printing is there, your specific required, suppose you want a specific foot design, chappal design with your own foot, 3D printing is possible. Okay, customized applications can be developed, no doubt. It's difficult to monitor every child. AI can help. So like that. So it is creating new applications. In that manner, you have to write. Challenges, general theme, no doubt, infrastructure, ethical issues. Very good. Okay, adaptability. This is very difficult for after a certain stage to adapt new technology every time. This technology is changing every time. Various phones are there, mobile phones are there. They are not standardized. Where settings will be there, where to change the language of your keypad, or where to connect, how to connect. A lot of trouble. Each phone will have, mobile phone has its own software. Similarly, in these disruptive technologies, when they are going in a decentralized manner, decentralized growth, many people will contribute towards it. It's good. But lack of standardization is another problem. Okay. Standardization has pros and cons, no doubt. Centralized thing has pros and cons. Distributed things also has pros and cons. We need to write both things and put a balanced argument. Okay. Old technology and all these things. Fine. Rare earth methods, this also we saw yesterday itself in the periodic tables. This is being detected here. This is just for understanding. No need to write this, that there are these elements which are light rare, heavy rare, which are relatively less available. Rare, they are in fact not that rare and relatively abundant in Earth's crust. They are abundant. Rare earths are abundant in Earth's crust, but few countries are dominating in their production. Okay. Now they are used. Applications is important. This we saw again yesterday. Rare earth methods, varieties of things are listed here. No doubt. This is just a practice. Already we did it yesterday. Right? Synthetic biology is the last question. What is this synthetic biology all about? What is applications when we are creating like synthetic clothes? Synthetic biology is talking about creating new genes. See, GM modified mosquitoes. See, look at the things which we saw yesterday. Okay, now they will use recombinant DNA technology. What is recombinant DNA technology? If I ask a question among Oxford vaccine, and we have two vaccines, COVID vaccines, and Bharat Biotech vaccine, which is using recombinant DNA technique. Among Oxford and Bharat Biotech, which is using recombinant DNA technology? No idea? You require any explanation on what is recombinant DNA technology? Are we there? Yes, some messages. See, recombinant DNA technology, let me put it this way, how they are doing it. I'll open some PPT. See, recombinant DNA technology, as the name says, what we are see, there are many methods. I'm not talking about vaccine production methods. That is theoretical. Theoretical questions will not come. What is inactivated polio vaccine? What is oral polio vaccine? What is the difference? All these are the theory you might have studied for relevance. Then the next stage comes conjugate vaccines or combination vaccines. These are the varieties of vaccines which are then comes recombinant DNA. Next technology is recombinant DNA vaccines. Then comes DNA vaccines. Then final stroke is edible vaccines. And these are the various technologies which are evolving. Okay, with respect to biotech and in vaccine. In recombinant DNA vaccine, what is being happen is, let us see how vaccine is there produced. What is the benefits of, see, basic understanding is required. How, then only you will understand what is DNA fingerprinting. What is DNA fingerprinting? How they are doing this? Like the different applications are there. Both are context is different. Context is different, no doubt. This is different. This is different. I'm just talking about various things which are being there. Now, in recombinant DNA vaccines, what they are doing is how we are able to how the vaccine works. That antigen antibody. Let us assume that this is a hepatitis B thing. It has an antigen on it. Antigen. Fine. This antigen, when it enters the human body, the human body will produce antibodies. That's the reason we are calling them antibodies. This is antigen. It is unique for every organism. It can have many antigens, no doubt about it. Okay, so many antigens can be there, many antibodies. Accordingly, antibodies will be released in the human immune system. This is happening because human immunity is strong, prepared to release antibodies. Now we are taking this cue in order to train our human body to release better antibodies. What we are doing, rather than inserting in polio, what we are doing is the polio virus is weakened. Weakened polio virus is given. So if the president of India is giving a polio drop to the child, actually he is feeding the polio virus to the child. It's not a water droplet. What is it? A weaker attenuated form of polio virus is being given for the child as a practice session. Like you write test series before the main examination. Vaccine is like that. You train the body to generate antibodies. So the drop is having polio virus the president is putting in the mouth of the child. It has polio, but in which form? Weakened form. So there is a rarest of the rare possibility that the child may affected with polio by taking polio shots. Yes, that is possible. Rare, but it is possible with OPV, oral polio vaccine. To limit that only, we have injectable. Then all these technologies, varieties of ways, which are given. Whenever vaccination happens, that will be a very big trauma for the child for 1-2 days. For us also, in COVID things, many patients are lot, because a lot of things are happening here. In order to avoid it, in order to simplify it, we are developing these technologies in order to produce vaccines also. See, in recombinant, I'll not go elaborately. The whole theory that may not be required for you now. In recombinant DNA technology, what they are doing is they will try to produce. Why I have to put up this whole pathogen? Why I have to put up this whole pathogen in the human body? This antigen is the key. I will manufacture this antigen using DNA technology. How that is done is, this antigen is created on this body because of some genes present here. Yes or no? Like you have a hand or the size of your leg, hand, or your height, depending on your genes. There is a character, there are proteins which determine that. So similarly, this particular virus or anything has this antigen A. This is created because of some genetic code present in this is nucleus of the virus. There is some genes here which is creating this. We will identify that gene. Let us say A gene. This A is created by A gene. We identify that. We separate that. There are tools, heard like CRISPR, Cas9, molecular scissors. They will cut. They will cut the DNA, scissors. They will cut the DNA. They will join the DNA. Many proteins are there. See, basically DNA means it's a protein bond, complex protein bond. So that A gene is isolated here. That AG particular gene, we are putting it some yeast cell. Yeast cell also has bacteria. Sorry, bacteria. It also has cells. It also has nucleus. So this AG is inserted in this. I'll write a big diagram. This AG is inserted in this yeast nucleus. It has also DNA or RNA, whatever. Here AG is inserted here. AG. This is AG. Once this is yeast cell. This is some virus. This is inserted it, some yeast cell. This AG is inserted. When this AG is there, what will come up here? A will come up. The same antibody is grown on the surface of, the same antigen is grown on the surface of yeast cell, bacteria yeast. Why bacteria yeast? Because they replicate very fast. Now we done genetic modification. We have taken away a DNA part scratch here, and we have recombined it with some other DNA. That's the reason it is called recombinant DNA technology. Now all the yeast cell, we produce these yeast cells, all the yeast cells which are produced in the lab will all they have this A antigen. We mass culture it, we separate it, we destroy all these yeast cells, only isolate this antigen A, and give the pure antigen A as a vaccine. This is recombinant DNA technology. Okay, Oxford vaccine is recombinant DNA technique, whereas Bharat Biotech is an inactivated vector kind of thing they have. Another thing is there with respect to mRNA vaccines. And Pfizer vaccine in USA. USA is using next level of technology, mRNA vaccine, messenger RNA vaccines. If possible, we'll do that tomorrow. Okay. So this is the basic with respect to vaccines here, how they are being determined. Anyway, recombinant DNA technology, its applications, we have to focus on, no doubt about it. Then here, if you switch the final words, how you can term synthetic biology, where we are creating new genes, new applications, synthetic organs are being created, xenotransplantation is happening. Okay, where our human organs are being cultivated in other animals. So we are using all the things to create chemistry, biomicrobiology, social science, computer science, processing. A lot of data processing is required to create new genetic elements. So a lot of new applications are there with respect to things. Vaccine production is just one application. Various kinds of materials, tires, biopharmaceuticals, antibiotics, chemicals, polymers, green chemicals, from agriculture waste. All these are the applications of synthetic biology. So malnutrition, it has huge scope for addressing food fortification. Okay, hidden hunger can be addressed. Malnutrition can be addressed. Various diseases where there is no clear cure, genetic and degenerative diseases can be addressed. Food safety, food security, more productivity. Okay, there are many issues. Issues are very important, very important with respect to these technologies. Allergies can be there, genetic diversity. We are playing with nature, ecological balances. We don't know, new diseases may come. Bioterrorism, no doubt. Alleged origin of corona, accidental leaks, poor regulation, biosafety. So ethical dimensions also. Without knowing, we will do this. We are playing things with nature. Okay. So which genes? We are altering the genes. The whole survival also may be under question. We don't know if we get a reaction out of it. Okay. So no doubt, allow this technology to grow, but properly regulate it by balancing with the risks. So this is the thing which we have to focus on. For tomorrow examination, apart from this, study about, let me talk about indigenization in defense. We will see about indigenization, semiconductor missions, all the technology missions which the government of India is doing. Like National Action Plan for Climate Change, we have missions. In this way, the recently government has taken 9 technology missions. Focus on those missions also. Okay. Then indigenization, contribution of Indians. See, you can refer to some of the old scientist things. Latest things are, see, Chandrayaan 3, Gaganyaan, how ISRO's contribution. That is also not just one Indian. So that is also a way in which India is going ahead. So that dimension is also important. Some history, also Raman spectrography is important thing. Bose, as I was saying, Higgs boson, all these things can be studied. Study these things, technology missions and all those things. Then we can discuss about briefly those topics tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow, Acha, you tell me, when do you want the session? Is it at 6 o'clock? Do you want it at late or it is in the evening? Just put a message, everyone. 6. Others? Only one is, others are nowhere. Fine then. We'll have it at 6 itself. I'll ask the exam. So write this. This was done. So tomorrow also we'll put a paper. Maybe late night, early we will keep and we'll have the session. Okay. Chalo. Take care. Bye. Bye.